Freitag. How are we all doing tonight? Give a round of applause for your host. Isn't he awesome? I'm going to be singing that song to my nieces and nephews for years. Like he said, my name is John Freitag, but don't I look a little bit less like a stand-up comic and a little bit more like I should be opening for like Blink-182 right, on their new AARP tour? I'm just missing like the fingerless gloves, a septum piercing, and oh, that's right, a sexual assault charge. I even know what my band name would be. It'd be My Clinical Depression. Let's be honest, I'm a stand-up comic. I can't afford therapy. So it'd be more like my self-diagnosis. I'm not actually depressed. I just spent the last 36 hours playing video games and watching other people play Dungeons and Dragons. Because that's what healthy people do. And I don't want to kill myself, but recently quite a few people have told me that I look like a thick Pete Wentz. So I get it. I'm actually really excited to be here tonight. I wanted to perform here for a while. This is actually the highlight of my week now. I say now because the original highlight of my week were these shoelaces. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, they're hot pink, right? Awesome. I bought them because I wanted to express myself and add a pop of color to whatever the hell this is. I think they're too much. They're not the highlight anymore though, because right before I came over here, I had just laced them up and I wasn't even 2 steps out the door when my girlfriend piped up and she was like, "Wow, you're brave." This stopped me in my tracks because I am not brave. I need her to flag the server down when they mess up my order at a restaurant. I am an idiot. But I decided to humor her. I'm like, "What do you mean brave?" She's like, "Aren't you afraid of being bullied or called gay?" I'm 30 years old. I haven't been worried about being bullied for at least 6 months. And we've been dating long enough that anytime I meet a new friend of hers, within half an hour they're looking at her going, "Are you sure he's straight?" But it's the shoelaces. Not the fact that I told her my grandma used to pull me out of middle school and take me to musicals. And I loved them. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat was amazing and full of color. Or the fact that she saw me open-mouth kiss another man on our second date. But it's the shoelaces that got her worried. So I told her, no, I'm not worried about being bullied or called gay, because I'm comfortable in my sexuality. So then I grabbed my purse and I skipped out the door. Now, as a stand-up comic, I've only been doing this for a few years now. I still have a full-time job, and with doing those 2 things, I need caffeine to make life, I don't know, tolerable. But I like to take my caffeine in the form of energy drinks, which means at least once a week, I have somebody come up to me and tell me that they're bad for me, while unironically holding a large frappe with 2 extra shots of heart disease. But have you seen an energy drink can? They're not hiding it. It's like, well, Best Buy and Walmart are becoming more subtle and pulling back on their colors and logos. Energy drink companies are stuck in the 90s, sporting pit vipers and mullets going, "Let's go!" Every single one of them is covered in neon colors. You know what figured out neon means don't ingest millennia ago? Nature! But I'm still double-fisting those bad boys. And every single one's named after something you wouldn't want to put in your body, like Spike, or balls, or NOS. That last one I'm pretty sure you put in your car to make it go faster. So yeah, I don't think it's good for me. But you know what? It puts a pep in my step and takes a year off my life. And isn't that the millennial dream? So shut up while I drink my C4. As a newer comic, I've been trying to go out to Chicago to make a name for myself, and it has been going poorly. It's not the performing part. I love this stuff. I think it's because by the time I get out there, I'm already keyed up, because the drivers are the worst. and they give me the worst anxiety. Like, when was the last time you saw somebody going the posted speed limit of 55 miles an hour on the Dan Ryan?
Never.
Never! They ran off the road in Gary, Indiana and never saw the border. But somehow, every time I go out there, I tell myself that this time it's going to be different. This time it's not going to be so bad. It always is. And I know when I'm starting to hit Chicago traffic, because I'm driving along like I'm in that movie, Driving Miss Daisy, which I've never seen, but I assume Miss Daisy enjoys speed limits. And then everyone else around me starts driving like they're auditioning for the new Fast and the Furious movie. Except in this one, there's no Vin Diesel character to pull up next to me, nod and go, family, and then drive off into the distance. It's just a bunch of serial killers hopped up on frappuccinos. Like this giant Suburban who wouldn't let me emerge into their lane as mine was quickly ended, got me in my head thinking, all right, some small dick asshole boxing me out, right? Well, eventually I do get behind this Jeffrey Dahmer on wheels. But as I'm approaching their bumper, I start to notice a bunch of pink breast cancer magnet stickers on the back of their car. So now this has me feeling like the bad guy. Now I'm the small dick asshole. Now I'm the one with a lump in my chest. Right? Right? Because she's strong. She's a hero. She's a survivor. But for just 1 second, I kind of wish she wasn't. Like, I'm glad she gets to live a long life and it wasn't cut short. But just for a moment, her pink ribbons had me seeing red. But I'm glad she gets to go home to her friends, family, and loved ones. But just for the smallest amount of time, I wish we cut federal funding. Now on my way over here, I was just driving along, and I looked up in my rearview mirror, and I saw that a cop had pulled up behind me. And I started to get nervous. I started to sweat. And I had no reason to. My license plates are up to date, my license is good, and I was only a little bit buzzed. Wisconsin sober, if you will. But it doesn't matter who you are. You could have committed no crime ever, or you could be actively committing every crime in the book. As soon as you see those cherries and berries behind you, you start to sweat. You start to have thoughts you've never had before, like, maybe there is crack in here. Is that blood or is that ketchup? And then, just as you're starting to convince yourself that you stole your own car, they have the nerve to pull off onto some side road and go home like they're not copping 24/7. And didn't just make you piss your pants. But then, if you're like me, this is when you start to calm down. Remember that you're white and speed off to go bury the dead body in the truck. Now I have been arrested before, shocker, shocker. But it was for a DUI. Now off stage, I'm a little more mild-mannered. So when I told my friends this, they didn't believe me. So I downloaded my mugshot to show them proof. But when I went to the first person to show them it, and I pulled it up and I was looking at it, it made me realize that those booking cameras that they use in jail have got to be designed to make you look guilty. Because the first thoughts that went through my head were, maybe I could kill a guy. When did I start doing meth? I'm moving to Benton Harbor. Now, I drive a lot, that's obvious. And when you drive as much as I do, you start to notice a bunch of junk on people's trunks. And what I mean by that is, like, a lot of people have bumper stickers. It made me realize that bumper stickers are really just more like more honest and informational versions of tramp stamps, you know? Because like with a tramp stamp, they could have had a fun summer break, they could have reconciled with their father. But with a bumper sticker, that driver's issues are fully on display. Like just the other week, I saw a car that had Mommy AF on it. And right next to it, it said Daddy AF. And after following this car for about 5 minutes and watching them swerve in and out of traffic, I realized that those bumper stickers were telling me something. That this family was stupid AF. To Speaking of families, I hate the family bumper stickers. If it's a bunch of Ewoks on the back of the car, you know the kids are sick of hearing, "I am your father." If it's got more than 4 kids on the back of it, you know the family believes in traditional gender roles but doesn't believe in contraception. But my favorite one that I saw, it was a pro-life sticker on the back of a van that had just cut me off on a roundabout, which told me that to this family, all lives matter, except for the asshole behind them.